everybody, and welcome to the first 6 weeks curriculum preview for grade 7. This is Brenda Mesa, and I hope you will find the information in this overview to be helpful. As you watch this video, feel free to stop it at any time to allow yourself more time, if need be, to read a slide or to look at an item. The first 6 weeks has 2 units, Unit 1, which is a review of 6th grade material, and Unit 2, Rational Numbers. Please consult the district scope and sequence in Eduphoria for the required number of days for each unit. Okay, in Unit 2, Rational Numbers, I want to first start by talking about strands, knowledge and skill statements, and student expectations. In 7.2, the strand is numbers and operations. The knowledge and skill statement is the student applies mathematical process standards to represent and use rational numbers in a variety of forms. And 7.2 is a little unusual in that it doesn't have right underneath it an A or a B. It's attached to the knowledge and skill statement. The student expectation is really included within that paragraph there. The student expectation is that the student is expected to extend previous knowledge of sets and subsets using a visual representation to describe relationships between sets of rational numbers. Sometimes you will see the standard listed as 7.2, and sometimes you will see it listed as a 7.2A. An A would almost indicate that there would be a B, but in this case there's not, and so sometimes they just leave it as 7.2. Okay, in 7.3, we are still working in the numbers and operations strand. The student expectation is that the student applies mathematical process standards to add, subtract, multiply, and divide while solving problems and justifying solutions. And there are 2 student expectations here. The student is expected to add, subtract, multiply, and divide rational numbers fluently. In B, the student is expected to apply and extend previous understandings of operations to solve problems using addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of rational numbers. The instructional tasks that you design for your students should include the mathematical process standards. 2 years of STAR testing data have shown that standard 7.1b, 1a, and 1f were the most often tested process standards. 7.1b is the use of a problem-solving model, which is one of our Tier 1 priorities. Our Tier 1 priority is to use UPS Check in the classroom. The use of UPS Check will support our process standard 7.1b. 7.1a, apply mathematics to problems arising in everyday life, society, and the workplace. We bring that in when we embed the mathematics within the context of a problem situation. So an application type problem in which it's related to the student's everyday life, the society that they live in, and the workplace. 7.1f, analyze mathematical relationships and connect and communicate mathematical ideas. That is the student analyzing relationships and connecting and communicating the mathematical ideas. Communicating both verbally and in writing. Okay, next I want us to take a look at the Mathematics TEKS Supporting Information document. And in a minute I'm going to ask you to click on the link and go to the Texas Gateway. Once you go to the Texas Gateway, I'm going to ask you to select Supporting Information for Grade 7. The Supporting Information document contains the latest updates from TEA on our standards. When you go to the document, look to see when the document was last updated. That is stated in the footer. If you have a previous edition of this document, check the date, and if you have an older version, please disregard it and use the up-to-date version. When you go to the Gateway and look at the Supporting Information document, I would like for you to see what TEA has to say about our TEKS in this unit. And our TEKS are 7.2a, 7.3a, and 7.3b. Please pause the video to allow yourself time to find the Supporting Information document and read about the TEKS from this unit. Next, I would like for us to take a look at some released items or some sample items for the TEKS in this unit. As you look through the items throughout this presentation, I would like for you to look at them through 2 different lenses. First, where do you think your student struggled And 2, what are the instructional implications? Are there any instructional changes that you might make this year so your students will be successful on tasks like these in the future? So our first item that we'll look at is actually a 2016 release item for Standard 7.2a, and it is linked or tagged to Process Standard 1B, 1E, and 1F, and the correct answer is C. If you would like to look at additional sample items, you may see your standard clarification document in Eduphoria. The next item is a 2016 release item for 7.3a. The student expectation for A is more about calculations, having fluency using operations with rational numbers. This item here is tied with Process Standard 1A, 1B, 1F, and the correct answer is D. For additional sample items, please see your standard clarification document in Eduphoria. 7.3b is a readiness standard, and we actually have 3 items from the state from 2016. And in 7.3a is more about solving using basic calculations. 7.3b is more about the context and having, if you'll notice, the students have to read a little bit more. And this TEK itself from the state talks about the students should be able to apply algorithms for operations with integers and operations with fractions and decimals to perform operations with rational numbers. The problem may involve multiple steps and multiple operations. So take a look at question 8. It is linked with Process Standard 1A, 1B, 1F, and the correct answer is F. Question number 21 is linked with Process Standard 1A, 1C, and 1F, and the correct answer is B. Question 37 is linked with Process Standard 1A, 1B, 1F, and the correct answer is D. Of these 3 items associated with this student expectation, as a district we scored highest on number 8. As a district we scored lowest on item number 37. I would encourage you to review your campus data, and if you were a teacher last year, your teacher data to see how your students performed on these items, and use the data to help you make instructional decisions. Ask yourself, does my instruction provide students with opportunities to work through problems as rigorous as question number 37? And if not, what adjustments will I make in my instruction so that my students are prepared in the future to answer questions like that? A good starting point for problems of this caliber and this rigor level would be your Texas Go Math student work text and the independent practice and HOT problems. 7.2b also has a student task related to it, and when you go into Eduphoria, you can find the task by going to Resources. And once you click on Resources at the bottom, you will see a drop down where you have Resources. If you click on that, that takes you to District Resources. And then below that you'll see 7.2b, Student Task, Rational Number Sort. When you click on that, it will open up the white space here, and you will see that it says, click on the link to access the student task. And you will need to log into your g.birdvilleschools.net account in order to access that student task. Well, it looks like we've come to the end of our time together. Thank you for taking time to participate in our curriculum preview. I hope the information was helpful to you. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions or if there is anything I can do for you. This is Brenda Mesa signing off.